What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and rapper Young Dolph's autopsy report came back earlier today, and his death was ruled a homicide, which comes as no surprise to any of us. We obviously know that Young Dolph was murdered, so that was a given. But we did get a few more details about his death from this autopsy report. Some details that I don't think I really needed, but apparently some people wanted to know these details. People have been asking how many times was he shot, where was he shot, and what have you. And we get all the information about all of that here today. The West Tennessee Regional Forensic Center released the autopsy report for the murder of a famed Memphis rapper, Adolph Thornton Jr. Young Dolph suffered 22 gunshot wounds, according to the autopsy. These wounds both include where they entered and exited his body. So I'm not sure if they should label it 22 gunshot wounds. Well, I guess you can technically say that, but that doesn't mean that he was shot 22 times. Some of these wounds are exit wounds, like a bullet went in and a bullet came out. So I'm not sure exactly how many times Dolph was hit, but the locations Young Dolph was shot include the forehead, the temple, the face, right back, center back, right arm, left chest, left abdomen, right chin, right neck, right wrist, right shoulder. Damn, that is just absolute overkill. Absolute overkill. So, I mean, for lack of better words, not trying to sound too harsh here, but the majority of Young Dolph's body was covered in these bullet shot wounds. Not only did he get hit multiple times in the head, but he got hit in the face, the wrist, you name it. It's absolutely grotesque what they did to Young Dolph. And mind you, for those of you who don't know, he was actually in town, in his hometown of Memphis. He was supposed to have a turkey drive that day. Everyone knew he was in town, and he was going to a cookie shop to pick up some cookies for his mom. And this is his favorite cookie shop. He had talked about it on social media before, how everyone needs to go to Makita's Cookies, and that's where he ultimately died at. Now, there was a lot of stuff going on behind this. I dived into it a little bit. I paid attention for a while, but I got to admit, I'm no expert on what happened, but I just know that there was a lot going on behind this case, a lot going on behind this death. There was a lot of finger pointing. Some people even assumed that maybe some of the people that worked at this cookie shop were involved. There was just a lot going on behind the scenes when it comes to this murder. And like a lot of the cases that we've seen lately, it was basically solved by social media. Young Dolph's fans got on social media. They started doing some digging. They started, doing this sleuthing, turned into like internet investigators, and they tracked down the people who did it. Because in some of the security cam footage that we saw from the scene, or it was still images released, we get a good look at the getaway car. And it turned out the getaway car was actually used in a music video for another local rapper in the area. I think he called himself Straight Drop. And this person had been seen wearing a PRE chain, which is a Paper Route Empire chain, which is the name of Young Dolph's record label. I think he had been seen in the background of some of Young Dolph's music videos. So this guy wasn't a stranger to Young Dolph. I'm sure he was hating on him. I'm not sure the exact details of why he did it, although the authorities say that they do know the reasons behind it. They haven't released what they believe is the reason behind it, but they say that they have a motive. Now, there has already been some arrests made in this investigation as well. On December 9th, Cornelius Smith was arrested in South Haven, Mississippi for an auto theft warrant, which involved the vehicle that I was just talking about, which was believed to be the getaway car. And then a second suspect, Justin Johnson, which is also known as Straight Drop, that's the rapper I was telling you all about, he was captured in Indiana on January 11th. So he basically tried to make a run for it after Young Dolph's death. Like, he was flexing on Instagram and stuff like that, talking. He was saying things in a cryptic way, but if you were a Young Dolph fan, you could put two and two together. You knew what he was trying to say. And then he kind of tried to go on the run for it, but they got him. Both suspects, though, they pled not guilty. I think their next hearing is set for March 24th. But then Memphis Police Department named Devin Burns and Joshua Taylor as two persons of interest in the case on February 20th. Burns was taken into custody 2 days later, and Taylor has yet to been arrested. So they're still looking for a couple of people that they're tying into this, to the murder of young Dolph. So it's not just like one or two suspects. There's 4 that they know of already, and I'm sure there's more, where that came from. I would not be surprised. But what's funny is this Justin Johnson guy, he was on social media. He was trying to be an upcoming rapper, and when you go on his Instagram, he's in like nice cars, really expensive outfits, flexing money left and right. And you're just like, okay, he appeared to be someone that was at least somewhat successful, because how could he afford these clothes? Why does he have, thousands of dollars posing in all of his pictures in these nice cars? But it turns out that he couldn't even afford an attorney. He asked the judge if he could get some more time so he can afford an attorney. Mind you, he's locked up. The judge gave him and his family 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Could not come up with the money for a lawyer. So now he is being defended by a court-appointed lawyer. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, and for all you kids out there, that shows you a lot of this stuff that you see on social media is fake, it's phony, it's fugazi. If you go on this guy's Instagram, which has now been deleted, you would think that he's the next big thing. He's got chains on, like $100,000 that he's posing with. He's in expensive clothes. I mean, thousands of dollars on his outfits. Yet, can't even afford a lawyer. When he gets wrapped up in some stuff, like what he did to young Dolph, which is the same stuff that he raps about, can't even afford an attorney, and now he's got a public defender. He's worth nothing. And he's probably going to spend the rest of his time and the rest of his days behind bars. So it's funny that it ends like that for him. And he gets exposed for being the broke person that he is. And I can only assume that a lot of why he did this is from hate. I don't know the exact motive. I know people out there claim they know the motives. I know there's a lot of information out there about this case that I just didn't dive into, too deeply to find out. But at the end of the day, it looks like something that people did out of hate. People hate when you're more successful than them. That's why a lot of these rappers and musicians, like when you get famous, you start getting money, you get out of your city, because your city is like a bucket full of crabs that want to drag you down. And when they see someone successful, they cannot stand it. And that goes for all of you as well. Sometimes when you get more successful and you start doing better for yourself, you have to distance yourself from people because they will drag you down. And that is what happened here in this situation, if you ask me. But there you have it, folks. We get more details about where young Dolph was shot, how many times he was shot. I don't think it was details that we necessarily needed, but nevertheless, there you have it. Let me know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and as always, find some time out of your day to go watch a movie.